teacups, what's brewing? I am back. I've edited and uploaded the other video. I threw a piece of salmon in the air fryer. I had that for dinner. I made a batch of the carrot. I've only got half a cup here because the caffeine, it's getting on a little bit. And I'm just going to try and react to the honest full day of eating at almost 400 pounds video, because the other video got up to like 35 minutes and I just gave you a super long one. I do try and keep them around the 30 mark, but I just don't shut up sometimes, you guys, and that's just the way it is. So let's get into this one. It's only 10 minutes, so hopefully it won't be too much. Here's the thing about this one, right? So honest full day of eating, almost 400 pounds. As I said in my last react, the fact that she's willing to use 400 pounds when it suits her and then deny it when it's not is really quite funny. I'll round up if I need to make it sound better on the title. Honest full day of eating, when she knows she's filming it, she's not always honest, but we'll see all the details anyway and we'll talk about it as she goes. But I just want you to bear in mind as she presents this, that she has had the news of her blood sugar levels for a few days. And think about that for a minute. Like, would you eat like this having already had the news? Now, she's tried to frame it as, no, I want to be able to see exactly what I really do eat, so I can't deny it to myself. But like I said, I don't think she has a real sense of these portions being too big, because that's how she's always eaten. That's a portion to her. So I don't see how this could help, but I do suspect that this was just a food funeral by any other name. She could have just thrown the food away and started something healthy the moment she got the first blood sugar reading. She didn't, she chose to do this instead, which is why I have doubts as to the, not necessarily sincerity of this attempt. Like, I think she wants to get rid of those health conditions, but to the likelihood of success.
Hello! Alright, so this is the what I eat in a day video as promised. I'm gonna show you...
Holy filters, Batman. She's never had a wrinkle on her skin, according to her camera.
From the first thing I eat to the last thing I eat. I noticed some habits of myself that by watching this video. I just don't seem to care about portion size or how much of something I eat.
A genuine tip for her, you know, she wanted tips and she never watches me, so she'll never hear it. But just switch your plate sizes. The first thing I said when I looked at the dinner she was eating the other day was that she had it on a serving platter. Like, get a small dinner plate. I won't say use a side plate, even though that's a useful tip, because I do think she needs a proper sized meal, especially as, you know, she's just turning onto this thing. But get a normal dinner plate and fill it reasonably. And then just, even if you eat the food you eat, you've at least like halved what you're eating at minimum. Don't eat out of the family size portion of fast food. Sorry, not fast food, the Kuwaiti food. I suppose it is fast food, it's not food she prepares. But when she's got the rice and the kebab and the stuff, she's like, oh, they always serve a lot of rice. No, we save it. Okay, so put it on a plate and save it. Don't bring it on camera. These things people tell her all the time that you won't listen to.
At one point I ate 3 corns on the cob with almost a whole stick of butter. So, I mean,
For anyone working in metric, I had to look this up. A stick of butter is 113 grams, split between 3 corn on the cob. Like, you could get a pack, you could do like 10 grams, like a slice of butter, 30 grams of butter for each one, still get a very buttery taste. Like, what did the other 80 grams really add to this?
Instead of measuring out 1 or 2 tablespoons, I just don't ever care about those things. I don't take the time to be thoughtful or mindful about what I put in my mouth and the quantity of it. I just eat.
Here's the thing though, I believe we'll see in a minute, when she showed the corn, she was like, I'm probably not going to use all this butter, but I'm probably going to use most of it. So she was mindful of the fact she was going to do it, she just didn't care.
And I just eat, and it gives me a temporary escape from everything. You know, if I'm stressed out, if I'm working on something, if I'm stressed out dealing with something, I say, okay, I'm going to take a snack break, and I just eat.
I understand eating as a distraction, eating. I have a friend that whenever we're having a conversation, I can tell she's quite uncomfortable because even though she knows she's supposed to do it, she'll say, oh yeah, I'm just going to figure out what I want for lunch first. And then I know she won't. And it's okay. We're friends. She can do things at her own pace. But it's a thing I notice in our conversations. And that's the cue to me to say, okay, she can't deal with any more of this conversation. Just change the topic.
Something very palatable. Something not good for me, you know, maybe like 3 small bags of chips with like half a brick of cheese or something like that.
3 small bags of chips. You're like, small bags of chips. I mean, it's not good, but it's not awful. But half a brick of cheese. We see the brick she buys. Half brick cheese is not a snack. It's not.
I have horrible eating habits.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we know, but
do have binge eating disorder.
I knew that was going to come up. Yes, she does, but if you don't get help for it, don't come crying about it. Yeah, just that's where I am.
I'm addicted to certain foods, mostly takeout, junk food, all that. And I also am just not a mindful eater at all. So my hunger cues are way skewed because of that. My hormones.
That I absolutely can believe.
Are out of whack. You know, we all have natural hormones that tell us when we're hungry, when to stop.
That's true, and that reasoning is one of the reasons I ended up having weight loss surgery. It was, aside from like the life reasons I chose to, but I never really felt like I was full. I had the same problem. I could just keep eating, and I wanted to reset that. I wanted to have that kind of restriction. But when she talks about that being an escape, I've always said that her eating is in many ways trying to fill an emotional hole with a physical stopper. And so it just never ends because she doesn't fix the things in her life that make her want to escape. But speaking of her hormones being out of whack, I mentioned her medication, what was it, estrogen, I think it was she was on, when she's had a full hysterectomy. She's meant to be on medication and monitored by her doctor, and I don't think she's on that currently. And that kind of a hormone imbalance in your body is going to cause havoc no matter what else is going on, let alone all the other problems she has.
I don't even listen to those. They're like, yeah. So, I think it's causing me health issues at this point, more than ever, and I have to do something about it. But I wanted to do a diary full day of how I eat I was gonna say on a bad day. Hi, baby girl.
Oh,
say hi to the camera.
It's been a while since we had a full-on cat deflection when she's feeling emotionally uncomfortable. But doesn't this just bring it back?
She's crying for attention.
She's crying because of the fungal thing on her skin. You might not want to rub your face on her.
Oh, just doing a quick video. Okay.
Lip gloss covered in cat hair.
So I was gonna
fungus.
say, what I eat on a bad day, the reality is every day is a bad day because I eat like this pretty much every day. The amount of full good days I've had in a long time are near zero. I end up caving at night, being so hungry or just not being able to give into those urges. They're very overwhelming, and so that's basically how it's been for me for a long time, and my body's tired of it.
Was it a few... Oh, I might be remembering the timeline wrong. She had, when she made those elotes, how long ago was that? Was that recently? I feel like that was recently. Because that, to me, looked a lot more like binge behavior than she's discussed before. Because she, I think around then, I might be misconnecting it, she'd been talking about how she had had salad dressing and she'd been rooting through the fridge and she'd been eating all the different things. That to me is binge behavior. That is, I will eat anything because I need something and these are the only options I have kind of behavior. So that conversation, if she doesn't binge on camera, is entirely false.
I don't blame it. I've been severely abusing myself with food a lot of times. I, just overeat way too many of the bad things, and it just has to stop. Yeah, it really, really has to. The time was like 10 years ago or 15. I need to, it's way past due. So, I just want to show you guys how I eat on an everyday basis, the kind of things I eat, how my eating pattern is. I haven't been eating out as much, so I've been making a lot of food, but
we've seen the food she's been making, and it's nowhere near healthy. I mean, you could argue, although with the amount of fat in the sauce, maybe not, that the mafé was somewhat close to a healthy meal, but then she had it on a serving bowl with like 4 people's worth of rice. And so her portion control just totally killed any good it might have done.
Much so I've been making a lot of food, but still overeating it and making the wrong things. So it's just, for me, it scares me, the thought of raw dogging life. Like, I know that's...
I hate the phrase raw dogging. It's just so vulgar.
One of the things I need to do to not exacerbate this diabetes, I guess smoking can make it worse, and I smoke a lot of shisha. Sometimes I smoke menthols.
Yeah, she does, and that's not even counting the lung problems she's had diagnosed, blood clots on the lungs, the fact that she's on puffers when she chooses to take them, and she'll still smoke. Like, it's just such an insane thing. We talk about needing certain things. She argues that she needs food, and therefore she can't quit food the way an alcoholic would quit drink. Now, I don't subscribe to that. She needs food, she doesn't need junk food, but she does not need cigarettes of any kind. That you can quit, and she didn't. She went back to it.
That's also a comfort. That's an escape. And then there's food, which is my biggest escape.
Okay, so what are you escaping from? I know what I see. I know why she'd want to escape. How are you going to solve any of this if you refuse to go and get help answering that question? You're just going to find another equally destructive coping mechanism to fill that problem.
My biggest comfort, and if I take those away, I feel like I'm raw dogging life. Going through life is going to be boring, it's going to be horrible, it's going to be, and I know that eventually it will get better. I need to just try to get addicted to healthier habits.
Or you could just recognize addiction as a poor way to consider habits and start looking at healthier cycles, start looking at different ways to frame your thoughts, maybe with a professional.
I need to get addicted to the feeling of feeling good. That's what it is, and seeing results and things like that. I have to be patient and consistent, and a lot of qualities I don't possess right now. So I'm going to show you what I ate today. And that's it. Tomorrow is hopefully going to be turning a new leaf. And I'm going to try harder than I've ever tried. I have to. I'm scared by what I'm seeing. I don't know. It's probably still not enough, for me to be ready to do this. The thing is, I'll never be ready. I'm waiting to be ready.
I think that's true. She never will be. Whether she succeeds, whether she doesn't, probably doesn't. If she does wait, it always becomes, well, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it when this happens.
Never be ready. I never, ever want to go through the discomfort of having to change. I also don't want to be uncomfortable when I'm traveling, when I'm just living life and I can't breathe. I want to be able to go for long walks with my husband. I want to be able to do a lot of things I can't do. So that's what I have to focus on, is what I can't do. Things I haven't been able to do for like a good 10 years or more of my life.
I always find these beginning of health arcs, the first stages, to be quite interesting, because she always ends up admitting more than she intended to. And think of all the time she's denied losing mobility, all the time she's denied that XYZ was true. And she's like, oh, I haven't been able to do this stuff for 10 plus years.
Okay, so I have to stay focused on that. And I need you guys to remind me of that anytime I feel like caving.
Anytime she feels like abusing you, just, no. She has to be responsible for her own motivation. And if she was smart, isn't that a big if, she would create another online persona that wasn't connected to her. She would separate that persona entirely from this community on the internet, and she'd go join some support groups who would genuinely try and support her.
Ordering crap, just all that kind of stuff. So yeah, number one will be to stay away from sugar. I know because of that, and I've just been in denial about it for so long, you know.
Please count your white carbs as sugar. Otherwise, you are not going to succeed the way you hope you will.
And, all right, I'm paying the price for that, so. All right, so here it is, my food diary of a whole day of eating, how I eat normally. All right, so here's meal number one.
This plate is the plate that, it's really close up right now, but this is the plate that she mukbangs on, right? So it's actually a very large plate, or is this a smaller version? No, sorry, I didn't mean to keep stopping. She's got like, God, am I going to sit here and count her chicken tenders? She's got a pile of chicken tenders, so she's clearly got quite a lot in there.
Leftover mac and cheese, that's the last of it. Had some yesterday. Bunch of chicken strips, black olives, a chunk of halloum.
You know what offends me most on this plate? Like, mac and cheese and chicken strips. I can see that being comforting. Very beige, but as part of a balance elsewhere, I could see that being like an indulgence meal, no problem. The olives are weird to me, but then the hunk of halloumi. One, it looks raw. It doesn't look like she's cooked it, which will not be pleasant. And two, if there's one thing this meal does not need, it's more cheese. We saw the ton of cheese she put in the mac and cheese. Why would you need a hunk of raw halloumi to finish this meal off?
Halloumi cheese, some mayo and ketchup, and I'm gonna have that with an orange drink.
Oh, a box of sugar. Great.
And some water, cold water.
That will make all the difference.
And that's gonna be my first meal.
Oh, just bonus eating noises. Dip it in some sauce. Jaw pops.
That's it. I made this berry crumble.
Okay, do you see how tight she's cutting these angles so you can't tell how big it is? But that is a baking tray. That's like one of those big cookware things. She's eaten a solid quarter of that already. So that would have been a serving for her. That is a lot. Didn't she say she had bought these berries to go in yogurt? If she really wanted the berries, bit of sweetener in the yogurt, a little bit of vanilla, mix it up, put the berries in. Lovely. She didn't. She wanted the topping. And I love me a crumble, don't get me wrong. Probably this Christmas, when I take a week off the low carb, I will make one. I've got some cherries in the fridge. I might make a cherry crumble for Christmas Day. But I didn't just have a blood sugar reading of, 20 at the high point? And I'm not actively worried about that. Like, how could you have 2 days, 3 days of high sugar readings, and then, having said you're incredibly scared and worried about it, go on and eat this? What?
Has like mixed berries and just like the crumble top, oatmeal flour, sugar, brown sugar, and
Butter.
oats.
Butter.
Did I already say that?
Yeah.
Butter,
There you go.
brown sugar, oats and flour. Yeah. Alright, so next thing I'm eating is a can of tuna.
Do you think she chose the tuna because it looks like a healthy snack? Or is it just what they had available?
Mayonnaise, yellow mustard, salt, pepper, and some fresh dill. Lots of dill. I love it with tuna. So that's the next thing I'm eating.
She could probably eat that when she goes low carb. I say when, like I'm actually hopeful.
With
Oh, no, she couldn't.
2 orange drinks.
2, not even 1.
And some more water. Bismillah. Okay.
She said she ate almost this entire stick of butter. Like, the butter is basically the size of one of the corn on the cob. I like a little bit of butter on corn, but oh, that is a lot.
So the next thing I'm going to eat is some corn on the cob, which is frozen. I boiled.
I mean, are we meant to be thankful she's not putting mayo on top of it this time, I suppose? Maybe that's the thing to focus on. But, like, I cook my eggs in ghee. I'm not afraid of a bit of butter, but oof.
I'm not going to eat the whole stick of butter, but, I'm going to use probably a good portion with some salt.
And all the salt as well. Those olives, that halloumi is very salty. Some extra salt on this. I'm not saying she has to eat bland food all the time, but she goes out of her way to add salt when she said her blood pressure is also a problem.
Baby Carol, you're in the camera. I'm just about to fold that laundry there. Here,
like we care at this
I'll show you that. You could probably hear my washer spinning. Alhamdulillah, we have a washer and dryer. That's all I'm thankful for. And yeah, I'm going to eat this. It's my next thing I'm eating. And I'm probably going to watch a video from Creepy Comfort and Crime. You should check them out. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to eat...
Well, that's a lot of fat in that sauce. I mean, I know things like butter chicken and what have you have a lot of fat, but this is the thing with adding peanut butter to it.
Is some leftover beef stew or mafe with some rice, and we still have some leftover. It's so much better the next day, and it's about 11 p.m. right now. All right, I'm gonna have a bowl of my homemade mixed berry cobbler. It's so delicious.
It's just so much. I'm sorry, this is not a day of eating. This is a food funeral. This is her getting as much of what she's got left in the fridge as she can before she has to start fresh.
And yeah, that's what I'm gonna have now.
If they've got mafe in the fridge still, she will eat that today.
Oh, and I guess I'll end the video here. I don't think I'll be eating anything else. Maybe just some sunflower seeds while we watch a movie. But that's all I'm gonna have for today. And again, tomorrow I'm gonna start fresh and try to make some healthy, low carb, low sugar meals.
If she's got anything in the fridge, any juice boxes, anything, she will fall on it like a starving man. Like, she needs to go into her kitchen, she needs to get rid of anything she doesn't want herself to eat, and she needs to just make it fail-proof. And tell Salah, if he sticks to it or not, okay, we can't order. Because he's in control of that, he can stop it.
To get my...
Oh, and then the tantrum if he tries to stick to it. It's coming, I can feel it.
Diabetes in check. So I'll see you guys in the next one. See you tomorrow. Bye.
Bye. Oh, she did say at the beginning of this that she was going to change the intro as well. I forgot because I cut out her ad at the beginning. I forgot to tell you. Okay, so that's where we are. Like I say, I think she was just taking the opportunity to have one last hurrah with her food rather than use it for any meaningful purpose. But I understand the lure of the food funeral, but it's not going to help her in any way. But, you know, take that clip from the end, you know, making choices to cure my diabetes, because you know pretty soon she's going to try and walk it back and be like, no, I was only ever pre-diabetic. No, I didn't get diagnosed. I just took a couple of high readings. You know, like, don't let her do it. Keep it in the archives. All right, everybody, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.